Comics and powered by the Red 5 Network. For more, visit red5.bio.link. Good morning. Good morning. It is I, Danny, and this is Comics and your daily dose of Dork for Tuesday, February 25th. So 3 days left in the month. And what a month. We've got some stuff to talk about, guys. But before we go any further, do me a huge solid. Give me a big fat thumbs up right down there. Give me a nice like. Subscribe if you're new and ring that notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with even more nerdy goodness. We got a lot of stuff going on this week. I will be live from the Trans World Halloween Special Effects Attraction Convention in downtown St. Louis, Thursday through Sunday, probably around noon, 1 o'clock. I'm going to get them all set up today, so don't you worry about it. Also, I'm going to be recording a breakdown for a Black Panther character I didn't know much about called Achebe. My God, this guy is a psycho. He's like a Bond villain. It's crazy. But we got a lot of crazy stuff to talk about today. But first, let's say hi to the chat. Good morning, Fernando. Good morning, Maria. Good morning. Good morning, CEO Star Wars Non-Toxic Alliance. I still have my card right here. She stays with me right next to me where I can see it because it was the sweetest thing ever. Thank you so much. But what's new with you guys? You got your coffee? I've got my coffee and I'm ready to get into this news. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. But tell me in the chat how you are. Good morning, Penny. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry, my hair is naturally straight today, and I just can't stop touching it. Good morning, Ubaldo. Good morning, good morning. All right, let's dive in. Normally I have this stuff pulled up, but I didn't have it ready today. My fault. My fault. All righty, kids. So, let's see. We're not going to start with that. Let's start with this right here. Deborah Ann Wall reveals she is set to return as Karen Page in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. The scripts are amazing, she says. I'm deeply honored to be part of that storyline that Dario has written. Season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, of course, starts next week. Hello, grandbaby. Hello. Season 1 starts next week. So thanks for the spoiler warning, Karen. I guess she survived Season 1. So there's that. What else we got? Oh, we'll get to that in a second. The Russo brothers previewed to Deadline the forthcoming Marvel movies Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars due in 2026 and 2027 respectively. It's all in London. We're shooting them fairly back to back. It's a lot of work. And again, we may not survive. Okay. Joe Russo told Deadline social media manager Natalie Sytek on the red carpet, but we're very excited about it. We found a way into the story that we think is going to be challenging for audiences. It's challenging for us to execute, and it's really exciting for us. It gets us out of bed to do it. It's, always good to have a reason to get out of bed. So, as you may or may not know, people like Chris Hemsworth and Elizabeth Olsen have already been spotted in London filming. Possibly that's what's going on. Good morning, Loki. Going to OD like in the comics. I don't know. As far as we know, though, she's not going to do it in Season 1. Maybe Season 2. That's how Born Again went. All right. So tell me what you think about that. We're going to move on. Doomsday, apparently, Avengers Doomsday, as we were just discussing. The story will be very radical and will surprise people, says Joe Russo. It's going to challenge audiences. Do we want to challenge at this point? Is it just me? Is it just me? Or does anyone else get very, very nervous every time they say, oh, it's going to shock you. It's going to surprise you. It's going to challenge how you see things, because it feels like every time they say that, we hate whatever they come up with. Hello, Facebook user. Hello. Penny says she's 5 months old. I could swear she just said, hey. Well, hey, baby. Hi, yeah, little baby. I miss babies sometimes. Okay, so it's going to challenge us, they say. I don't know. It makes me nervous. The Russos haven't really let us down in the past with the MCU, but I really wish they would just stop telling us that, oh my God, it's going to surprise you. You're going to love it. Stop telling us what we're going to love and just say, you know what? We worked really hard on this. We hope you enjoy it. I just wanted to see Blade. Yeah, we all want to see Blade. But which Blade? Which Blade? And are we going to get Blade? Nah. Okay, before we get to the big DC news, according to the Hollywood Reporter, DC Studios is set to make a splash at CinemaCon this April. There aren't any major plans for the studio at San Diego Comic-Con, but they've really taken a totally different route with DC. It's like they don't want to do what Marvel's doing, and that could be a really good thing. Marvel does Hall H. They do this huge Hall H thing. They do Super Bowl trailers, and DC's doing none of that. They seem to be going for smaller potatoes when it comes to marketing, press releases, all that stuff. Andor's back, and that trailer looks so damn good. It really does. Who are you, Facebook user? But yeah, we watched that yesterday. It looks amazing. So tell me what you think about DC going to CinemaCon instead of Hall H. Speaking of Marvel, Brad Winderbaum has really been feeding us a lot of information lately. Recently, he's told us that the Okoye series is no longer moving forward. Confirms him. I think fans of Okoye are going to be excited to see her come back, but I don't think it's going to be in a television show. There's a lot to look forward to. Oh, Michonne. Any big fans of Okoye that are really disappointed about this? I'm guessing that's a no. Guessing that's no. I mean, I like the Dora Milaje. A Dora Milaje series might have been cool, but they keep going through all these side characters. They're trying to make all these side characters. Star Wars does it too. Make all these little side characters like huge big deals, and we're really not that interesting. It's Dave. It's Dave. Good morning, Nerdling First Class Backyard TARDIS. Which reminds me, where is Kino? Where is the creative blue collar guy? I haven't seen him since I got back. I'm sad. Someone go get them. I miss them. Loki says there are no fans of Okoye in existence. There might be a couple. Never say never. I'm sure there's a couple. I'm sure there are. Backyard TARDIS says Hall H is like E3. It costs a lot of money when you can just do. That's an excellent point. I did not think of that. Thank you, Nerdling First Class Backyard TARDIS. Hall H is like E3. It costs, or I think you mean D3. It's like it costs a lot of money when you can just get as much eyes anywhere else in the age of social media. He's absolutely correct. So, possibly, these choices are of a financial nature rather than let's not be Marvel. Dave says, bring back Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Robin. Let the other Nolan brother do it. It's been like 13 years. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is my age. Okay. That's a little old to be Robin, but he was good. We did miss out on a chance to see him as Robin. Sorry, I apologize. I should have hit mute. But that's not to say there isn't another role that would be fantastic for him. Let's hear some fan casts for DC and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Okay. Avengers Doomsday is supposed to start filming in April. And this is something from my time to shine. Hello. Again, this is like Daniel RPK's alt account, and it's not always correct. So take this with a very small grain of salt. A new rumor suggests a Mara Jade-centric TV series is in development with Zendaya eyed to play the role. Two things. One, I would love Mara Jade to enter Star Wars. I would love Mara Jade, period. I would love a Mara Jade series. She has an amazing, interesting backstory. Really do. But again, it's erasing a redhead. What do we have against redheads? Backyard TARDIS says the gaming thing. See, I'm not a big gamer. No, I'm at E3, the gaming expo that collapsed because none of the gaming companies were willing to spend the money on it. Gotcha. See, I'm not a big gamer. I play The Sims and Fortnite. I love a Mara Jade series. However, no Zendaya. We don't need Zendaya. We've got plenty of amazing redheads that would be fantastic in this. So Zendaya's in everything. She's busy doing films with her fiance. My daughter's in the other room watching Casey Undercover. Zendaya is literally everywhere. So let's say no to that. All right. I'm trying to find some. Oh, we got a new look at Sentry's costume. Check that out. So he is going to wear the comic accurate costume. I love Lewis Pullman. I love him, and I love him for this. I am tickled beyond the telling of it that Stephen Ewan had to back out, and now we have Lewis Pullman. Lewis Pullman is just comes from good acting stock. Good acting stock. Good morning, Don Rogenstein. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I am hyped for Thunderbolts. There, I said it. I'm hyped for Thunderbolts. I think this is going to be awesome. I'm hearing amazing things about it. In fact, let me see if I can find the thing, because from what I've heard, from what I've read, from some sources, that Thunderbolts is testing better than the last 8 Marvel films. Testing better with test audience, okay, than the last 8. That's insane. That's hopeful. That is hopeful. And you guys were here when we watched the Super Bowl trailer together. And it looked good. I was like, wait a minute. Am I hyped for Thunderbolts? Is this possible? And I am. And reading that it is testing better than the last 8 Marvel vehicles makes me feel like I might not be crazy after all. Well, yeah, never mind. Never mind. But that's good news. That's amazing news. And I do love Yelena Belova. Do we want to get into that yet? There's so much DC. Okay, so we're going to get DC Superman Fortnite skins, and James Gunn is giving notes on the designs. Pretty sure he got notes for designs on his costume from the Superman skin from Fortnite. It looks just like it. I'm just saying. You guys know I'm right. Oh, here we go. Here's our first look at He-Man. I mean, basically just the sword and some muscle. How do you guys feel about this upcoming live action He-Man thing? I don't know much about it. But anytime they play with our Gen X toys, they break them. So I'm always nervous. Always. I don't like them playing with my toys. Here's some good news. A Punisher special is in the works at Marvel Studios. So this would be a Marvel spotlight. What do you guys think of that? I think that might be a hint that they're bringing the series back. We do know that he's going to be pretty busy. And he was a great Punisher. Listen, I'm not going to lie, though. I'm not going to lie to you. And you guys can dislike me all you want, but I didn't ever get through the Netflix Punisher series. I think season 2 I didn't get through. Season 1 I did. I don't remember it. But season 2 I didn't finish. Kind of bored me. But I do like Barenthal as Punisher. Where is everybody? Get to talking. This is a two-way conversation, sirs and ma'am. Ooh, had an issue there. Okay. There we go. Thunderbolts is the best test screens of any movie or series of Phase 5. So maybe I was wrong. But someone said 8 vehicles. So, all right, where we at? Okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready for some better juicy stuff. Where'd it go? Why does it keep doing this? It gets like all out of order, and that's very upsetting. Because I had them in order. So let's finish out. Oh, Walton Goggins says Fallout Season 2 is just going to blow you away. So Season 1 was great. Interested to see Season 2, most definitely. Most definitely. Good heavens. Good heavens. Here we go. Speaking of good heavens. So the Hollywood Reporter, Variety, everyone is reporting on this. Everyone. And this guy, Matthew Baloney, is right like 99.9% of the time. Okay? This guy is very rarely wrong. I don't want to be totally negative today, says Loki. Backyard Charter says, it's okay, Danny. I couldn't even make it through season 2 of Daredevil. I love the Daredevil Netflix series. That one I got all 4 seasons through. Okay. So this Matthew Baloney. Baloney. Okay, for fuck's sake. Sorry. Trying to get through this stupid ad crap. Okay. So this guy, Matthew Baloney, who's right almost 100% of the time, says it's happening. After years of speculation and polite urging from observers like me, Kathleen Kennedy has informed Disney, as well as friends and associates, that she will exit Lucasfilm president by the end of the year, per 3 sources. Disney and Kennedy's personal publicist declined to comment. So, when I shared this earlier, I said, I really wish I could go through all my streams for the last 5 years and find every single time I have said, and I quote, they will never fire Kathleen Kennedy. They will never fire her. They will never, ever admit they were wrong. You'll just get a report like this out of nowhere saying she's going to retire. And it won't come from her. It'll come from other sources like Disney. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. She's retiring. There's been too many failures in the last few years. And I know I'm not Mike zeroing here, right? This isn't a Mike Zero moment. That dude has been saying for 5-6 years, Kathleen Kennedy's getting fired. She's not. Well, I believe what has happened is she's been asked to retire, or they've told her, you're retiring. There's been too many failures, but God forbid they actually admit that it's their own doing. No, they keep blaming it on us. It's our fault. It's our fault that it's our fault that the Acolyte, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett were just so terrible. It's our fault. But like magic, now that all this nonsense has proved to be not working, she's retiring. Hallelujah. So my guess is that either Jon Favreau is going to step in as president, or it will be him and Dave Filoni 50-50. That's my guess. This will change nothing at Disney Lucasfilm. I think there have been changes already, and this is part of it. I think so. I think they've taken a long, hard look at what is not working. What's not working? It hasn't been, they've lost a lot of money. They lost like 1 million subscribers in January. As soon as Skeleton Crew was over, they lost like 1 million subscribers. Yeah. This might be it by the end of the year. No more Kathleen Kennedy, but I do think you should still keep looking around the corner for her. She gonna get you. She gonna get you. Oh, man. I mean, Gremlins was great. Thank you, Kathleen, for Gremlins 1985. But time to go. All right, let's talk some DC stuff. So if you guys heard last week, there was some super serious, super top secret squirrel meeting held at DC Studios last week. And it was all locked out. Like, they invited some press, like Variety. But they didn't release anything. And they said whatever they talked about would be released early this week. Well, it was released yesterday. As soon as I was done streaming, it was released. In fact, James Gunn posted a picture of him and Zack Snyder. Oh, Lord. The Snyder Bros had a field day with that one. God love him. God love him. But here we go. We've got everything right here. Blue, blue, blue. Okay, there it is. Sorry, I almost put up Peaky Blinders for you guys. Call the police. Oh, ring the coppers. I'm held hostage by the Peaky Blinders. I really am. I'm on season 5 already. I'm obsessed. I can't stop watching it. DC Studios update: 2 Batman movies, a possible Teen Titans film, and Penguin season 2, and why James Gunn posted a photo with Zack Snyder. And away we go. Whoa, deja vu, exclaimed DC Studios co-chief Peter Safran as he stepped inside a modest screening room on the Warner Brothers studio lot in Burbank in January 2023. For the newly relaunched DC Universe, a small group of journalists in the same room. Over 2 years later, on February 1st, the duo returned to deliver their first official update about the slate to roughly the same group. So he's got this 6-year plan. And he tells Variety and a few other journalists all about it. It's weird sitting here because it does feel like no time has passed and yet so much has happened, Gunn said. We look so much older, Safran said. That's the biggest difference, is it? Is it? A lot has happened with DC in just 2 years. Gunn is deep in post-production of Superman, the first DC Studios movie, which he wrote and directed. While simultaneously working on post to season 2 of the Max series Peacemaker, director Craig Gillespie is halfway through production on the summer 2026 film Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow with Billy Alcock, and production has started with the Green Lantern HBO series Lanterns with Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre, which is coming out early 2026. Along with those updates, over the course of an hour, Gunn and Safran held forth on several topics, including the status of their initial slate of 5 films, including Batman the Brave and the Bold and The Authority, and 5 series, including Waller and Booster Gold. I need updates on Booster Gold, for the love of God. As well as confirmation about a handful of other projects, including a film about the Batman villain Clayface, a prospective live-action movie about the Teen Titans, an animated series about Blue Beetle, the future of St. Rock, and now that Daniel Craig has withdrawn from consideration for the titular role. Daniel Craig is no longer Sergeant Rock. That super sucks. I was wanting that. Maybe it's Josh Brolin. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation that he was going to be Deathstroke. Maybe he's going to be Sergeant Rock. Safran noted that DC Studios is ultimately aiming to release 2 live-action films, 1 animated film, 2 live-action and 2 animated TV series per year. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that 7? 7 projects a year. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, I think he has. I got hair on my lip. Hold on. Nah. I think he has heard the phrase "cart before the horse" because he has said many, many, many times he's not greeting anything until he sees a script. And he goes into detail on that too. But yeah, this is a lot that this is what's the word I'm looking for? Not impressive, but it's a lot. It's hard enough making a good movie with a good script. Gunn says no project will be greenlit until Gunn and Safran are satisfied with the completed screenplay. It's almost impossible to make a movie with a script that you're writing on the run. This is why, for example, they greenlit Clayface on the strength of Mike Flanagan's screenplay, even though, as Gunn said, we had no plans of making a Clayface movie. And here's the interesting part. Well, not just interesting, but, this approach stands in pointed contrast with DC Studios' obvious counterpart, Marvel Studios, which has quite famously announced many movies and their release date without anything close to a finished script. Marvel and Star Wars will greenlight ideas all the time. And then, no surprise, a year or 2 later, you stop hearing about it. It's been quietly axed. But this is an issue that Gunn and Safran first raised at the 2023 presentation, and Gunn has repeated it several times since on social media. In general, the overall presentation on Friday, while informative and insightful, lacked a sense of immediate urgency. There weren't any major announcements, even as Gunn and Safran alluded to other unnamed DC projects that they're excited to talk more about in some future date. So this ambitious plan, that's the word I was looking for, ambitious plan for 7 projects a year, but still no major announcements. How is 7 projects a year for the next 6 years not a major announcement? The genial informality of the gathering, however, was another way in which Gunn and Safran are setting DC Studios apart from Marvel, and how just about every other major studio manages information about their marquee and movie franchises. Gunn and Safran gamely fielded questions about everything from tax credits for production in California, therefore them, provided it makes overall sense for each individual project, to the role of superheroes in Trump's America, something other film executives at their level effectively never go on the record like for this. That's stupid. Do not, because either way you slice it, you will lose 50% of your audience. Do not take a stance on that. I'm telling you, that's a bad move. If anything, rather than stage manage momentous presentations at San Diego Comic-Con, the event most resembled an old school executive session during the Television Critics Association press tour. And speaking of Comic-Con, Safran and DC Studios will not have a significant presence this year because Gunn's Superman will have already opened in theaters. While not quite radical transparency, the update did loosen the rigid strictures that have surrounded top-tier franchises for the last 20 years. Here are the highlights. 2 Batman movies, Clayface and the Penguin Season 2. Gosh, why can't I clear my throat? My goodness. Listen, the weather in Missouri is always over and over again. It was freezing cold for the last couple weeks, and now it's like 60 something degrees today, so my sinuses cannot keep up. Given that Batman has remained the most consistently successful DC character in film and TV for decades, it perhaps should not be surprised that Gunn and Safran spent considerable time on updates about DC Studios' expansive intentions for the Caped Crusader. First up, Clayface. Safran confirmed that British director James Watkins from Speak No Evil is in talks to direct what he characterized as a body horror film. And Gunn said they hope works as a pure horror movie for somebody who doesn't care at all about DC. So they're going for the horror fans. They're trying to bring the horror fans into the DCU. They plan to start shooting this summer and have also started the casting project. So they haven't even cast it yet, and they want to start filming in 3 months, 4 months. Gunn has said that actors who voice a role in an animated project will also play them in live action. But, James Gunn. While Alan Tudyk has voiced Clayface in 2 DC animated series as a buffoon in Harley Quinn and as a ruthless assassin in Creature Commandos, Gunn said that he won't play the role in the feature film since that wasn't a primary role for Tudyk, who also plays Dr. Phosphorus in Creature Commandos. So again, we've misunderstood Mr. Gunn. We've misunderstood him. He means primary roles. What the is a primary role? What was it? Because was he playing anything else in DC before he started as Dr. Phosphorus? Pretty sure all he was doing was Clayface. That sounds kind of primary to me. But again, we just misunderstood him. Safran offered a brief update of sorts. I'm telling you, this is not happening. Batman Part 2, saying the writer-director Matt Reeves has yet to turn in a full script, but we have read so far is incredibly encouraging. So there's still no completed script. Everyone else is lying, apparently. Warner Brothers recently pushed the movie from 26 to 27. They had even less to say about the possibility of a second season of the spin-off series The Penguin with Colin Farrell following the release of Part 2. We don't know, Safran said. There are a lot of moving pieces. Probably most important, Colin himself, and 800 pounds of makeup, Gunn added, alluding to the extensive prosthetics Farrell must wear for the role. That is a lot to deal with. Again, I've said it so many times. I did full face prosthetics for an afternoon and I was wiped, useless, and drained for the next 24 to 48 hours. I was exhausted. I cannot imagine. I cannot even fathom what Colin Farrell went through for that. Ugh. And he did it for the movie, which, he had a smaller part. He didn't have to wear it as much. And then he did a full series like that. My God. Please. Oh my God. I guarantee you there were a lot of pharmaceuticals involved to keep him going. Unfortunately, Gunn said it was very unlikely that the Batman star Robert Pattinson would reprise his role for the Brave and the Bold, but he did not foreclose the possibility that the DCU version of the character would show up before his titular film. I wouldn't rule anything out, Gunn said. He could show up in something else, but the actor doesn't exist yet. Brandon Sklenar, please. Brandon Sklenar, we are calling you to set for Batman. Animation, dynamic duo Blue Beetle, and 3 new series. Now, this is where they really lose me. This is where they lose me. As first reported in October, DC Studios is in pre-production for the animated feature film Dynamic Duo. Safran said about the 2 Robins who fought alongside Batman, Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, it provides a kind of perfect on-ramp for family audiences into the world of Gotham, Safran said. The studio is also still in active development on an animated series about Blue Beetle that would continue the events from the 2023 feature film, which was one of the last titles made under the DC regime. Safran said he expects the executive producers Angel Manuel Soto, who directed the film, and Gareth Dunnett can't read that. Alcacer. Sorry. Garrett Dunnett Alcacer, who wrote the screenplay, to present the project for a possible green light pretty soon. So it's not even been greenlit yet. Miguel Puiga is directing the series and Christian Martinez writing. They have nothing so far. And I'm telling you, we'll check production list again. But Xolo Maridueña, as far as I know, is showing his cast for Nova. He also announced that they've greenlit 3 younger skewing animated series. This is where they lose me. All overseen by executive producer Sam Register and produced by Warner Brothers Animation and DC Studios. My Adventures with Green Lantern. This one I'm annoyed with. Okay. This one I'm annoyed with because I know that Jessica Cruz isn't a very popular Green Lantern character. Okay. She's a hugely different type of character. But I found her interesting because she was the victim of abuse, and the power ring came to her. Not the Green Lantern ring, but the power ring from the crime syndicate alternate reality guys. And I have a whole Green Lantern episode that breaks down like every single Green Lantern for Earth sector. So this is all covered in that. But it gives her the ability to, when the ring found her, she was agoraphobic. You know, she went through a really horrible, traumatic experience, watched all her friends die while camping, and she didn't want to leave her home. And then she gets this power ring, and it messes with her, man. She sacrifices her life and saves the Justice League. She's a very interesting character. She's gotten kind of a bad rap, but this series sounds nothing like the Jessica Cruz I know. Because I don't know how you would do a legit Jessica Cruz series for kids. Because she watched all her friends get murdered by the mob in the woods. She has a very traumatic and violent backstory. But this says, My Adventures Green Lantern will follow high school student Jessica Cruz, who has her life upended when, according to an official logline, a Green Lantern power ring falls from the sky and chooses Cruz to be its champion. Things get even worse when more debris from the Lantern's ancient space war arrives along with their alien foes. Jake Wyatt is the executive producer, and Stephanie Gonzaga is co-executive producer. That sounds not Jessica Cruz. That sounds like Spider-Man. It sounds like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It doesn't sound like Jessica Cruz Green Lantern. If you want to do a Jessica Cruz Green Lantern series, then do it. But do the actual story and it's not kid friendly. Just saying. They lost me on that one. This one might be all right. But and notice the thumbnail here, the graphic looks like My Adventures with Superman, but My Adventures with Green Lantern. Whatever. Finally, Starfire serves. Wait a minute. Wait, we missed one. Here we go. DC Superpowers. This one sounds really, really dumb. It sounds really dumb. DC Superpowers takes place at the Alliance School for Heroes and focuses on new students: Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aqua Girl, Green Lantern, and Terra, who level up their powers under the supervision of Principal Martian Manhunter in the hopes of one day graduating and becoming the next generation of Earth's defenders. Matt Beans is executive producing and Michael Chang is the supervising producer. That sounds horrible. That sounds stupid. Toddler shows. That sounds terrible. They're basically taking DC characters outside of their canon and source material and shoehorning them into like Saved by the Bell or something. I don't know. This sounds bad. It sounds bad. The only one that I am interested in is Starfire. The Starfire serves as the origin story for the fan favorite title character, perhaps best known as part of the Teen Titans and Dick Grayson's Lady. The show follows her adventures after she uses an ancient spaceship she discovers on her home planet of Tamarin to escape her planet and explore the stars. Along the way, she'll meet space biker crush plant-loving Fern. So space biker crush Lobo, plant-loving Fern, and the magical princess Amethyst of Gem World, and together they will uncover the deepest reaches of the DC universe, save space dolphins. Oh dear God, I don't think I read this far before. And surf technicolor nebulas and boldly soar into the unknown. Josie Campbell is executive producing, and Brienne Druid is co-executive producing. My gosh, this sounds awful. Gunn and Safran engaged in some of the most storytelling exchanges whenever they were asked about DC projects they had not yet officially announced. Safran, for instance, pointed out Daniel Craig. So Luca Guadagnino, who directed Craig in Queer, initially wanted Craig for the role. He was an idea, and now they've moved on from it. Super sucks. I think he would be great. Later, a reporter asked about the status of a screenplay about the Teen Titans, a group of young superheroes including Nightwing, Cyborg, and aforementioned Starfire, written by Anna Nogueira, who wrote Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. The script's not ready yet, Safran said. I mean, I think we said that Anna Nogueira was writing it. We haven't said that, Gunn said. No, I think it was out there, Safran said. I think it was out there. Yeah, don't ask Gunn, because Gunn changes his mind every couple of months. Gunn says, it's out there, Gunn said. The implication being they'd never officially confirmed it until now. It was something that Anna was really impassioned about, and she turned over an amazing script for us. She's fiddling with it now, but it's definitely not a finished script. The reporter followed up by asking about a prospective Deathstroke Bane script written by Matthew Orton, Operation Finale Moon Knight. You say that like we've said that there's a Deathstroke Bane script. Safran replied with a smile. He confirmed that Orton is working on a script for DC Studios, which Gunn said is something kind of like Deathstroke Bane. Oh, here we go. I skipped over a bunch of crap that we don't care about. I'm just letting you know. After fielding questions about Pattinson playing Batman in Brave and the Bold, for example, Gunn sighed in exasperation. These questions become headlines because they say, have you ever talked about this? He said, we talked about literally every permutation of the way, you know what? We don't care. We've talked about everything. Have we ever talked about Grant Gustin? CW Flash. Yeah. Have we ever talked about Robert Pattinson? Yeah. We talked about all these things, but serious conversations, no. So That's why I skipped over that. Booster Gold, Paradise Lost, Swamp Thing, Waller, and Authority. Gunn and Safran also briefed reporters about the status of some of the projects they first announced in 23. They remain in development on the Wonder Woman prequel series Paradise Lost, which is based on Wonder Woman Historia, which is a fantastic book. Everyone should read it. And they're also moving forward on developing the superhero comedy series Booster Gold. Please, 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 please be Sean William Scott. Please. After waiting on a particular showrunner creator who had expressed interest in the show but ultimately moved on. Damn it. 3 other titles don't quite have much wind in their sails. The horror film Swamp Thing has been stuck in limbo while director James Mangold focused on Oscar-nominated Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown. The Peacemaker spinoff series Waller with Viola Davis has had what Gunn called a bumpy road, struggling to land the right script. The show, which is meant to precede season 2 of Peacemaker, also had to be reconceived after Peacemaker wound up going into production first. The project that has suffered the most seems to be The Authority, which is Dunzo. Gunn spoke at length about the movie, which he said would follow the events of Superman as it tracked a team of superheroes who adopt a more unsparing ends justify the means philosophy that the Man of Steel. In intervening 2 years, however, The Authority has moved to the back burner. And now, the Zack Snyder photo. Very interested to hear what he says about this. Fernando Zayas, live action Deathstroke is long overdue. Hard agree. Loki says, these dudes are car salesmen. Well, that's your job as a producer. That's literally your job. Is to sell something you don't have yet. But at least they're trying to say, look, we need scripts first. We need at least something. Gunn still does occasionally post to his guy Instagram and Twitter X accounts. Occasionally. He does it all the time. Mostly threads. Most recently, a photo of him with Zack Snyder in the DC creative room. That's what they're not saying here. That room that they're in is the same room where they had the press thing on the 21st. Okay? That is the DC creative room. The filmmaker, okay, so he posts the photo of him and Zack Snyder. If the filmmaker, whose past tenure at the helm of DC's live action films generate a fiercely passionate online fan base, went instantly viral. Asked if the photo meant that they've discussed a possible creative collaboration, Gunn said that he and Snyder, who've known each other since Snyder directed Gunn's script for 2004's Dawn of the Dead, sometimes talk about different things. But they took the picture specifically because they knew it would melt the internet. God love them. Smart. We knew that people have this view that somehow we have been pitted against each other, Gunn said. It's odd to have someone who you're friendly with in real life be the guy that is positioned as your Lex Luthor, or I'm his Lex Luthor. It's just a weird dynamic that's been created between factions online. And I agree. It's stupid. It's super stupid. Listen, the Snyderverse is not coming back, man. It's not. It's just not. It was okay. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed the Snyder films. I did. But it's time to move on. It's been several years, bro. Like, several years. It's not happening. And it's fine. It's fine. Look, again, like the Snyder films, I liked Henry Cavill as Superman. But even Cavill said Superman needs to be hopeful and joyful and not like broody. That's just not Superman. The wider DCU story. There were times when it sounded like you know what? I'm not even reading that. I'm not reading this Superman in Trump's America. I'm not pissing myself off today. But that's basically all you have. Dawn Riley, good morning. Good morning, Dawn Riley. Sounds very ambitious. What happens to all this stuff if Superman flops? It all goes away. It all goes away. And that's the truth. They've been very strategic about everything they have said to the press, especially in this article. Pardon me. Without a script, no money gets spent. And that is twofold for that. One, they don't have any money. They got to make money first. They need Superman to make money. 2, they don't want to do this stupid thing that Marvel and Star Wars does and announce a bunch of crap, greenlight a bunch of crap, get these online discussions going, and then nothing comes out, and then have us lose even more faith in them. So that's why I'm not hearing any major news. Well, yes, they're filming those. Yes, they're filming those. And Peacemaker. Yes, they are. But if Superman doesn't make money, if the Superman movie doesn't make money, if those don't make money, they're not going to move forward with anything else. Creature Commandos did well. But the big money is the box office. That's where it really, really matters. So this year, if this slate, this phase 1, if you will, doesn't deliver, if it doesn't make money, then DC Studios is done. And we have known that for 2.5, 3 years now. We've known that. They seem very hopeful. Again, yes, very ambitious. Very ambitious. They don't have any money. What do you do to make money when you don't have money? What do? You play poker. And that's what they're doing. They're making a bet with what they have and hoping that pays off. That's how she goes. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed on Superman, on Supergirl, on Lanterns. I'm really excited about Lanterns. Fingers crossed. Because if they don't do well, we're done. We're absolutely done. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you today. Any last minute questions, comments, emotional outbursts, leave it in the chat below. And on your way out, give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and ring the notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with even more nerdy content. In fact, the first one is this QR code right here. If you scan that, it'll take you to buymeacoffee.com/comics and MUA, and you can tip me as little or as much as you like. You can even use Cash App. By the way, all these links are in the description below. You can use Cash App right there. $ DanielleSoncasie. I cannot keep this running without you guys' support. I can't, because I can't afford to pay for this stuff. So when you guys help me out, it really goes a long way, and I'm able to keep doing this every single day. I also have a Patreon. You can become a member of the official Nerdling Army by going to patreon.com/comics. And there are 3 different tiers, starting as little as $3 a month. You get your own rank insignia and exclusive merch, which you receive every 3 months for the first year. There's also the exclusive Nerdling Army chat. You get outtakes, behind the scenes, updates, early access, you name it. It's all there on patreon.com/comics. And I'm also sponsored by, pardon me, allergies are miserable today. Let me take a drink of water. Leash Boss. You guys know I have a tiny tot, which I'm working on releasing his unboxing today of his goodies he got from Leash Boss. But Leash Boss is a pet company that really wants you to take your animals out and spend time with them and have them the healthiest, happiest pets there are. You have no pull harnesses, some very heavy duty but comfortable collars, bowls, puzzle bowls to slow your pups down so they don't make themselves sick while they're eating, lots of travel gear, and these really awesome durable squeaker toys that Tiny got. I'm telling you, it's really great. If you want 10% off, go to this link right here. It's in the description below. You will not regret it. There's also my merch store, comicsandcosmetics.etsy.com. All of my official merch, all of my designs can be found at comicsandcosmetics.etsy.com. There's also Apotheosis Comics and Lounge, shop apotheosis.comics. Shop apotheosis.com. And check out with 10% off. Boxes and also repped by or represent Zenny Optical, where I got these really awesome glasses. 10% off at that link. There's so many different ways to support the channel. I'm not kidding. Oh, wait, is it this one? It's this one. It's this link. I'm sorry. This one needs trashed. That's no good anymore. This is the link you need to use. And I'm also a member of the Red 5 Network. This is powered by the Red 5 Network. You see it, right? I can't get my hand on it, right? No, there it is. I did it. This podcast powered by the Red 5 Network. We do look good in red. We are a family of exclusively nerdy podcasts and content creators. So if you like this podcast and you want to check out more, go to red5.bio.link. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Oh, what do we have here? We got a comment. South Cali guy. It's a 6-year plan, not a 10-year plan anymore. I thought that's well, he's telling us what he's got for the next 6 years. And we just went over all of that. I'm sorry if you missed it. But yeah, first it was a 10-year plan. I guess we're out now with the 6-year plan. It's more 8 years since 2 years have gone by. I don't know. But that's what he's told us for the next 6 years. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'm Danny. You've been awesome. And I will see you in the next one. Do me a huge favor and check under your
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you!